Welcome to Corvette Today, the show that talks about everything Corvette, with your host, Steve Garrett, lifetime member of the National Corvette Museum, president of the Corvette Club of Kansas City, Missouri, and radio disc jockey at the #1 radio station in Kansas City for over 45 years. Here's Steve Garrett.
Thanks for listening and watching Corvette Today, the show that talks about everything Corvette, and the only current podcast dedicated to Corvette. I'm your host, Steve Garrett. I appreciate you tuning in. Corvette Today is brought to you by Wheelcraft. Want to dress up your Corvette with bright chrome or black chrome wheels? Visit wheelcraft.com and learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or offer a wheel exchange for most models, and it comes with a 5-year warranty. Visit wheelcraft.com today or call them at 833-840-5334. You can listen to Corvette Today on all podcast platforms. You can also listen on your smart device. Just say, "Hey Google," or "Alexa, play the podcast called Corvette Today," and you're connected. And be sure to visit the Corvette Today website. It's CorvetteToday.com. You can access everything there, including the Corvette Today merchandise store. You can also join our Corvette Today Facebook group there as well. Also, make sure you sign up for the Corvette Today emails, notifications, and updates at CorvetteToday.ck.page. And if you like YouTube, be sure to subscribe to our Corvette Today YouTube channel. See all Corvette Today episodes on YouTube as well. And be sure to patronize our flagship sponsors of Corvette Today, MidEngineCorvetteForum.com, the forum that focuses on the new mid-engine C8 Corvette. Meet a lot of fellow Corvette enthusiasts like yourself at MidEngineCorvetteForum.com. Soul Performance Products. Developed and manufactured in the United States, the Soul Performance Products exhaust portfolio has been tailored to elevate the experience of the world's most exciting sports cars, including the latest generation of the Corvette. Soul Performance Products at SOULPP.com, the official performance exhaust of Corvette Today. C8 Rally Driver is the one-stop shop for your C8 Corvette. Choose from custom-designed trunk and front covers, Z06 engine builder CNC plaques, customized wind restrictors, fluid caps, strut covers, rear hatch supports, and more. Everything is uniquely designed to provide you with custom accessories for your C8 Corvette. Visit their website at C8RallyDriver.com and let your imagination run wild. That's C8RallyDriver.com. Aerolarri Wheels, a true forged wheel with over 20 unique styles to choose from for your C8 and wide-body versions of the C7, C6, and C5 Corvette. It's an amazing value, starting at only $23.88 for a set of 4 fully forged wheels. And use the promo code CT111 and get $100 off your purchase. Visit Aerolarri.com. That's AEROLARRI.com. And use the promo code CT111 for your $100 discount. And a shout out to Canadian Corvette Forum and Corvette Forum, welcoming Corvette enthusiasts from around the world. It's time to bring you the latest Corvette news and headlines with my pal, Keith Cornett from CorvetteBlogger.com. Keith and I get together every other week, and we keep you current and up to date on what's happening with America's sports car. Keith, Merry Christmas, buddy. How are you?
Doing great today, Steve. Merry Christmas to you as well and your family. I am just excited. We had a great year. There's so much promise and opportunity coming next year. So there's a lot of great things happening. So I'm very optimistic about the outlook for Corvette.
Me too. And it's a unique week because the show releases on Christmas Day. I mean, Christmas Day comes on the day of the show, but it's also the week between Christmas and New Year's too. So it's a very unique year as far as the holidays go.
Yes, it's a fun time period. You know, you're surrounded by family and friends. Other things aren't quite as important as they are during the normal course of the year. So it kind of gives you a chance to reflect and do some things. And we're hoping for some big things to happen in 2024 for us personally with Corvettes as well. So stay tuned for that.
Absolutely. The good thing is you still got a Corvette Today show coming out on Monday, even though it's Christmas Day.
That's your Christmas present from Keith and Steve.
There you go. That's exactly right. Well, buddy, let's start off the show like we always do. Let's get an update on production from the Bowling Green Assembly Plant.
Absolutely. So we're headed into the home stretch for 2023. Corvette production remains very strong. Looking at the VIN counts, we have 8,177 Stingrays built And we have another 2736 Z06s for a total of 10,913. If you take those two numbers, we're operating at roughly 75% Stingrays and 25% Z06s. Again, these counts are just coming out very strong each day. We're seeing 185, 195 per day. Most days, interruptions are still happening. We saw back on December 15th, just 109. That was a Friday. So just 109 were completed. But then on the flip side, looking at December's production, December 5th, they did 214, which included 69 Z06s. So when they have everything, they do have the ability to pump them out. And then, of course, there was 3 E-Rays that were built last week as well. So looks like it's all starting to come together, and there's some good news coming up that we'll talk about.
Well, it's really cool because we were kind of stunned that we all of a sudden got E-Ray production ramped up and going, weren't we?
Yeah, we got the news late on Monday, December 11th, that 2 were already on the assembly line. And then by that Wednesday, the Daily Tracker report from Robert Keel confirmed that there were a total of 3 E-Rays completed for the week. Now, since those first 3 E-Rays were completed, we haven't seen any more go down the line. That kind of leads into our assumption that Chevy wanted to say that E-Ray production started in 2023, which is what it was planned for. We'll really start to see regular E-Ray production ramping up probably the week of January 8th. I don't know what's really in store. I think there was some TPWs for that week of 1/1. Most of the stuff we're starting to see is the week of 1/8, January 8th.
Okay.
And a couple people have been posting that their TPWs have changed from 3,000 status to 3,300, which means scheduled for production. So that's the last notice they get before their car gets produced. It looks like that's really starting to happen. Also exciting is that we got a heads up on all this from the Detroit News, and they said that they had a employee memo that went out to everybody working at the plant saying that when the E-Rays start down the line, there's going to be filming happening in the plant. So just know that that's going on. All that stuff should be coming up here shortly. That's pretty exciting. And of course, remember that first E-Ray was purchased by Rick Hendrick at Barrett-Jackson Palm Beach in April for $1.15 million. And those funds went to charity. He has a thing for black Corvettes. We saw a black Z06 come off the line first. That was his. Most likely, we're going to see a black E-Ray coming off the line. Chevy will share those photos sooner rather than later.
I'd love to see some video. We'll put some of that video on the YouTube version of Corvette Today. That'll be fun. Of course, we got the good news about the E-Ray. Then we got the constraints for December for Stingray and Z06.
Yeah, so only one order cycle in December for Corvettes. And if you recall, there were no E-Ray allocations, just dealers getting numbers for Stingray and Z06. And actually, the Stingray numbers were huge. So the constraints the dealers received on December 14th were just for those 2 models. But there's really good news, especially if you're a Z06 buyer wanting Z07. But first, with Stingray orders, we're seeing a split again, the non-Z51 versus Z51. They've got numbers next to them. Dealers are being told you can order a number of nons versus the Z51 performance packages. So that's still kind of happening, but the numbers are healthy enough that I don't see people really being too limited in that. We also have gloss black wheels and the FA5 interior level 1 carbon fiber package, which are available but with limitations. Some of the stuff that's not available is like that tech bronze package, the wheels, the stripes, things like that.
Okay.
Maybe they're just starting that up. That might be the case there. But the real big news for Z06 is we're not seeing any constraints on the CFV and the CFZ ground effects or the visible carbon fiber arrow for Z07. Only the painted carbon fiber arrow is constrained, which is backwards in my book, Steve. You get a blemish on visible carbon fiber, you paint it carbon flash, and you're set, right?
Yeah.
But it's the opposite. We have all these visible carbon fiber arrow packages, but we don't have the painted carbon flash. The good news for a dealer, let's say a dealer get 5 Z06 allocations last month or December, they could actually order 5 Z07s as long as the buyers were selecting the visible carbon fiber arrow and the ground effects. That's really good news. We've not seen that for a little while here. We hope that stands. Our next order cycle for Corvettes happens later in January, towards the end of the month. So we're actually hoping to see even more improvements by then.
It seems like Corvette and Chevrolet have kind of solved the problem of the visible carbon fiber. And Keith, you know me, there's never enough carbon fiber to go around.
Yeah, but it's been cyclical where it seems like they fixed it and all of a sudden we get hit again with major constraints and stuff. I don't know if that's an industry thing that's happening on the composite side of the business or if it's just all of a sudden the demand goes way up high and then they shoot through their supplies and then we're stuck to waiting for the trucks to come again.
Exactly.
Hopefully we are seeing the flip side that just more is available. The other talk too is that once the E-Rays come down, where's that production going to come from? Is it going to come from the Stingrays or is it going to come from the Z06s? I think it's going to come from a little bit of both, but it helps the Z06s by constraining the numbers of cars that are built anyways. For Z06 owners, they love it because not as many cars out there. Their cars retain their values higher and longer.
Sure.
And then, of course, for E-Ray owners, they're not buying that heavy aero package. None of that stuff's really available for the E-Ray. It's mostly like the interior carbon packages. You do have the carbon fiber wheels and some of the other things. For the most part, I think it's going to slot in rather nicely, the E-Ray with the Stingray and the Z06 production based on the numbers we've seen the last few weeks. We're really excited to see how that's going to happen. And just to say this one more time, they are expecting a slow ramp up with E-Ray production. It could be a few months before we get any real semblance of what those real numbers are going to be.
That's true. Speaking of E-Ray, Keith, the Drive has named the E-Ray the best performance car for 2024.
Yeah, we're hoping that this is, again, the start of a bunch of awards and people testing these cars and seeing how good it is. They beat out the Porsche 911 Dakar, which is that off-road Porsche.
Oh.
It beat the Ford Mustang Dark Horse, the Acura Integra Type S, and the McLaren Artura, which is a new car from McLaren as well. Here's what they said about it. I really do enjoy what they said about it. They said, the E-Ray is easily the cheapest hybrid supercar out there, and it's quicker than many of them, too. For God's sake, it's as quick as his 60 miles per hour as the McLaren P1, but for less than 1/10 of the price. Huh. And then they also said this, keep in mind that for the 106,595 that the E-Ray starts at, you can't even get a base Porsche 911 for that amount.
That's right.
Congratulations again to the E-Ray. We're hoping that this will be many awards for Chevy's first performance hybrid sports car. I'd like to see more.
Yeah, always. We'll take as many awards as possible. Thank you very much.
Right.
Also, Keith, Chevrolet is officially out of the attainable performance car game. What the heck does that mean?
First of all, this is one of our most read articles of the year. It was written by Alex Summers, my guy from Colorado. He's a Camaro owner, and he's lamenting the fact that the Camaro ended production officially this month.
Right.
What's happened is the fact with the Camaro ceasing production, Chevrolet no longer provides any affordable V8-powered vehicles. He says back in 2017, you could join the V8 club in a Camaro for just $36,900.
Right.
Now with the Camaro gone, you get the base Corvette for $70,000, which is nearly double. It's like 87% of the price. He also says that back in 2017, you could walk into a Chevy dealer and there would be 6 different vehicles powered by the small block V8, which included Camaro, Corvette, and that Chevy SS sedan. And now the push is in the other direction where you have all these high horsepower vehicles selling for well over $100,000. What are we going to see when the ZR1 or the Zora come in? Will they be $150,000? Will they be $200,000? I'm really afraid that Alex is correct in saying that Chevrolet is now out of the attainable performance car game for those that really want a V8 powered vehicle.
Well, that all makes sense, that's for sure. Well, buddy, let's take our first break. When we come back, it's Corvette Racing and Corvette Rumors up next here on Corvette Today.
We all know that wheels make the car. Wheelcraft's PVD chrome finish in bright chrome or black chrome will take your Corvette to new levels. And it comes with a 5-year warranty. Durability is a defining feature of the Wheelcraft finish. Their PVD chrome is superior to traditional chrome with a finish that is brake dust resistant and cleans effortlessly with soap and water. Wheelcraft offers factory wheel exchange for select C4 through C8 models, or they can apply the PVD finish to your current wheels. No matter what generation you own, Wheelcraft will transform the look of your Corvette. With every Corvette comes a unique story, and Wheelcraft has embraced this idea. When you purchase your new set of wheels, you receive a lifetime membership to the Wheelcraft Pit Crew, granting you access to your own page on Wheelcraft's website, where you can post pictures and tell your Corvette story. Visit our website at wheelcraft.com or call 833-639-4231. Arrive in style with Wheelcraft.
Stretch the life of your Corvette's paint with NovaStretch, the performance protective cover. NovaStretch masks protect your C4 through C8 Corvette from bugs and rock chips, and utilize stretch fabric technology and an innovative fastening system for quick installation, easy removal, and storage. Made in the USA for a tailored fit, the patented design and breathable mesh protects your Corvette without rubbing or chafing the paint. And unlike clear film or old-time car bras, NovaStretch provides full front end coverage, including the grille, keeping the radiators and heat exchangers clean and debris-free. NovaStretch masks make a perfect holiday gift or stocking stuffer for the hard-to-buy-for Corvette enthusiast on your shopping list. And if you're planning on going on the Caravan next year, a NovaStretch mask is a must. Visit NovaStretch.com and use the promo code CorvetteToday15. Get 15% off your purchase. Protect your Corvette with NovaStretch.
The Radiator Grill Store offers protection for your C8's front radiators and side intakes. They also carry front strut tower covers to prevent rusting and pooling water, all with do-it-yourself installation. Get 10% off your total purchase with promo code CT10. See the full line of products at RadiatorGrillStore.com.
Are you ready to take your Corvette to the next level? Look no further than Classic Trim Customs. We've manufactured some of the most impressive Corvette parts on the market, from engine bay panels to splitters and side skirts. With over 30 years of experience in hydrographics, we've perfected the technique and use only state-of-the-art materials and equipment to ensure the highest quality and precision. Visit our website at ClassicTrimCustoms.com or give us a call at 305-258-3090 to learn more about our products and services. Whether you want to create a show-stopping ride or just add a touch of personalization, the sky is the limit with Classic Trim Customs. Let us help you create the Corvette of your dreams.
Car Capsule brings you the official multi-award-winning Corvette SC1 Showcase. It's the ultimate form of protection, preservation, and presentation for your Corvette. No dust, mold, or mildew. This officially licensed GM product features all 8 Corvette flag logos, Corvette branding on the panels, a carbon fiber look and feel, and interior chip onboard lighting, plus the IntelliCharge battery charger with the fan backup system. It takes only 5 minutes to inflate, and it won't collapse when you open the doors or during a power loss. It's a freestanding drive-in, drive-out operation. See it at carcapsule.com or call 219-945-9493.
And now, back to the only current podcast on Corvettes, Corvette Today, with your host, Steve Garrett.
Thanks for checking out Corvette Today on podcast and YouTube. It's the only current podcast dedicated to Corvette. Corvette Today is brought to you by Wheelcraft. You want your Corvette looking its best? We'll dress it up with bright chrome or black chrome wheels. Visit wheelcraft.com and learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or do a wheel exchange, and you get a 5-year warranty. Visit wheelcraft.com or give them a call, 833-639-4231. I'm your host, Steve Garrett. With me every other week is Keith Cornett from CorvetteBlogger.com. We keep you up to date on what's happening in the world of Corvette. In segment number 2, we always cover Corvette racing and Corvette rumors. Keith, Corvette Racing's chassis number 1 went back to Bowling Green. That was kind of a cool deal with some nice pictures, too.
Yeah, we caught this news from racing driver Tommy Milner. He shared photos of the Corvette Z06 GT3R Racer. This is chassis number 1, and it was on display inside the Bowling Green assembly plant mid-December. Tommy writes the following on his Facebook page. He says that chassis number 1 Z06 GT3R went back to where it started life, right off the line at Bowling Green. Special day to get a tour of the facility and show the men and women who make these production cars and engines. Basically just a thank you. I guess the car was either in transit or they wanted to do just a little special where they bring the car back and give people a chance to see the car completed, as well as talk to Tommy. Tommy's the development driver for the car. He has more time in it than probably anyone. So he's getting ready to join the full-time staff for Corvette Racing again in January. A nice way to show thanks to where it does start off the line. Of course, the GT3Rs contain a whole bunch of production parts from the street cars. So it's a lot more than what we've seen previously with the C8R.
Right. Definitely. And also AWA revealed their Corvette livery for the upcoming season as well.
Yep, Canadian team AWA Racing. They're racing in IMSA's GTD amateur class with 2 Z06 GT3R racers, and they released their livery design. One of these cars will be painted the traditional yellow and black, although it's different from the way the Corvette Racing is. A lot more black on the sides. You can tell the difference, but you're going to see that front end with that yellow, and right away you're going to think, Corvette Racing? No, AWA. So it's kind of like Cadillac had a yellow car this year, even in the top class, and occasionally you'd see it and say, is that a Corvette? No, it's Cadillac. There's going to be a little bit of that going on. Their other car is painted a dark green with a red stripe down the middle and then white and black accents around it too. That's kind of the same colors I think they've been running in LMP3. So they wanted to keep their traditional livery design, but also pay a little bit of homage to the fact that they're racing Corvettes with the black and yellow car. So their black and yellow car I know is number 13. I don't know how lucky that number is, but we're going to be wishing the best for them.
Yeah, definitely. In the rumors section, Keith, did we set a new world record for a C8 Corvette in a quarter mile?
Well, this was a fun story that caused us to look back at 2021 and 2022 when there were several tuners and builders trying to get that Corvette Stingray faster. They did it quarter mile at a time. We had players like Extreme Turbo Systems. They were the first to get into the 9s. Of course, Amelia Hartford, she had the record for 6 months or so. Fuel Tech USA, they actually got the record, and then Late Model Racecraft, we took the record from them. So all these people were all jockeying. We'd see some different positions, something would happen. Fuel Tech USA would be the first in the 8s in the quarter mile at the time of 8.973 seconds at 160 miles an hour. Soon after, their record was eclipsed by Late Model Racecraft with a time of 8.83 seconds at 160 miles an hour. So again, we're talking about the Corvette Stingray. The video that came out last week was the return of Extreme Turbo Systems back to the track. They ran a quarter mile with their twin turbo Corvette Stingray for 8.64 seconds at 170 miles. And the video is pretty wild too, because there's another run that they show first, and that Stingray's front end really pops a wheelie and driving with a wheelie down the drag strip.
Wow.
That's making a whole lot of power there. It was so much fun watching these records fall. We really were hoping to see a lot more of that with the Z06. We kind of saw just a little bit of it, but people keep saying that engine's just too good to tune, or it sounds too good to make changes to. And so that makes me wonder if where the E-Ray, because it is the LT2 V8, people won't be as afraid to modify that, put a Pro Charger on it, put twin turbos on it, and then get the all-wheel drive to talk somehow with the other systems. So it should be interesting to see how that works out, but we'd like to see more records. I think this is a lot of fun for people. This story did very well for us as well, so I think people really gravitated to it.
I think you're right. Well, buddy, let's take our final break. When we come back, it's the lighter side of Corvette on deck next on Corvette Today.
Are you ready for a better insurance policy without the Corvette tax? With Agreed Value Protection, the value of your collector vehicle will never change. Plus, you'll save money. Get a quick quote at ncminsurance.com.
Hey, honey, are you awake?
I am now.
I can't sleep. Since turning 50, I keep dreaming of a red door and a blue door, somehow knowing there are only choices for retirement.
Okay.
Through the red door, we outlive our money. We have to rely on our kids. We're stuck on a fixed income. It's terrifying.
Yeah, that would suck.
But through the blue door, our money outlives us. We retire on our terms. Our kids stay our kids, not our caretakers. We make work optional.
Yes, that's much better. That's what I want too. But what do we do?
We call True Wealth & Company at 913-653-8783. They specialize in helping successful people make work optional. They're our fiduciary Blue Door personal wealth managers.
Hey, where are you going? It's 3 a.m.
I can't sleep. I'm going to check out True Wealth & Company online at retirewithtrue.com. That Blue Door is going to be our retirement.
913-653-8783. Visit us online at retirewithtrue.com. Investment advice offered through True Wealth & Company, LLC, a registered investment advisor in the state of Kansas.
VetFinders.com is the Internet's original Corvette classified ads website, with classified ads starting at just $25. And every ad runs until your Corvette is sold. If you're in the market for a Corvette, VetFinders.com has over 500 Corvettes for sale from all around the USA and Canada, and covering all 8 generations. Visit VetFinders.com, the Internet's destination for buying and selling Corvettes. That's VETTE Finders.com.
When you want to buy a Corvette, or any Chevrolet for that matter, get yours from Hendrick Chevrolet Shawnee Mission, located in Kansas City. Hendrick Chevrolet is the largest Corvette dealership and showroom in the Midwest. With a knowledgeable sales staff and Corvette sales specialists on hand, they'll help you build the Corvette of your dreams, and they ship nationwide. With Corvette certified master mechanics on site and a huge parts department with over 24,000 parts and $2 million in inventory, Hendrick Chevrolet is well equipped to take care of your every need. From sales to service to collision repair, Hendrick Chevrolet has you covered. Visit ChevyUSA.com or call 913-384-1550.
And now, back to Corvette Today with your host and my husband, Steve Garrett.
Thanks once again for listening and watching Corvette Today, the show that talks about everything Corvette. Corvette Today is brought to you by Wheelcraft. You want your Corvette looking its best, right? Well, dress it up with bright chrome or black chrome wheels. Visit Wheelcraft.com and learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or do a wheel exchange, and you get a 5-year warranty. So visit Wheelcraft.com today or give them a call, 833-639-4231. I'm your host, Steve Garrett. Every other week, my buddy Keith Cornett from CorvetteBlogger teams up with me. We bring you the latest Corvette news and headlines. If you want a deeper dive into any of the stories that Keith and I cover, you can always go to CorvetteBlogger.com. In this final segment, we always talk about the lighter side of Corvette. Keith, let's start off with a couple stories about the National Corvette Museum. First of all, they did announce their 2024 exhibit and event schedule, which I'm glad to see came early.
Yeah, it gives you some time to make some plans. There's some good stuff happening in 2024. Of course, next year is the 30th anniversary of the National Corvette Museum. That means that the 2024 National Corvette Caravan is happening in late August. And that's going to be a really big event. You know, it brings 5,000 Corvettes or so to the National Corvette Museum for their anniversary show in August. I was there 4 years ago for the last one. It was a lot of fun. Bringing in all those new people. Many people have never been to the museum before. Of course, all those cars making a target-rich environment for looking at cool license plates or mods or exciting new paint jobs or wrap. It's just a really fun time. So I'm really looking forward to that. And then also 2024 is the 10-year anniversary of the infamous sinkhole that opened up and swallowed 8 Corvettes.
Wow.
There's going to be a special display to mark that occasion. Some of the other events, March 15th, they're going to have an art show called Luster, Realism, and Hyperrealism in Contemporary Automotive and Motorcycle Painting. They'll display like 55 paintings by realists and hyperrealists whose favorite subjects are cars and motorcycles. Something a little bit different there. 55 paintings, that's a lot to look at. There's going to be some good stuff there, I'm sure. My favorite show, the NCM Bash, is on the schedule for April 25th through the 27th. I've already got my plane tickets and the hotel booked for that. So that's always a great show to be at. The veterans will again be celebrated during Military Appreciation Month, which runs the month of May. And then the year will close out in October with, they did that American Love Affair, which is a multimedia presentation. And then they've got a new one coming out called Pop Culture and the Corvette. And it'll include that new multimedia performance in the Sky Dome with those display panels that go around the circular building. Should be pretty cool there. That's what's coming for the Corvette Museum in 2024.
As a matter of fact, we'll have a Corvette Today teaser at the end of January. Mariah Hughes, the marketing manager for the National Corvette Museum, will be on Corvette Today with me and talk a little bit more in depth about everything that Keith just covered. So make sure you mark your calendar for the end of January for that show coming up on Corvette Today. The other news at the National Corvette Museum, I was glad to see we have a new R8C Delivery Manager, don't we?
Yeah, join me in welcoming Rod Keller, who is the Corvette Museum's new Senior Corvette Delivery Experience Manager. And Rod's taking over for Shane Webb, who has led the delivery program for the last few years. I think Shane's been there at least since 2015, and maybe even longer. Shane will be staying on at the museum, and we thank him obviously for his tireless work on behalf of Corvette buyers doing the R8C deliveries. And we find out a lot of information because the R8C deliveries are so different, and there's a really good communication that happens usually between the museum and the buyers. That's how we find out certain things like TPWs for the E-Ray, where everybody else just has the status. Really, thank you, Shane, for everything that he did here. Rod Keller, he brings decades of experience in sales, operations, customer service, and team leadership experience, according to the museum. He said he's an avid Corvette enthusiast, a member of Florida's Ponce Inlet Corvette Club, which I think is over in Volusia County. He currently owns a 2015 Coupe, which is his fifth. He's a longtime supporter of the National Corvette Museum, and he was part of the NCM's grand opening in 1994. Somebody with a lot of Corvette gravitas sounds like he's going to be leading the delivery program experience. So good to have him. Again, thanks to Shane for all he did.
And Rod is a faithful follower of Corvette Today. He loves the show, loves our news and headlines show. Rod has already reached out to me to tell me about his new appointment there at the National Corvette Museum.
Oh, good.
Rod, congratulations. We look forward to having you on the show sometime soon.
Yeah, I'll have to listen to that one for sure.
Absolutely. Also, for our friends in the Great White North, Corvette wins the Canada Black Book as the best retained value car for 2023.
Yeah, this is always a fun award. They won their category, which is sports car luxury. It was the 16th annual Canadian Black Book, and they do best retained value awards, which means that they're honoring vehicles predicted to retain the highest percentage of original MSRP in 2027. So this is 4 years after today's cars are being sold. But there's a lot of history there, and they really know how to take a look at those numbers. For this year, we beat out the Porsche 911 and the Porsche 718 Boxster for that award.
Wow.
Good for Corvette and Canadian buyers. You know, you're buying a car, you're going to have great retained values for up to 4 years after and probably longer.
I like the way they think, buddy. That's pretty cool. Our final story, Keith. Again, City Chevrolet was named the Chevrolet Dealer of the Year.
Yeah, so each year Chevy awards its most outstanding dealerships the coveted Dealer of the Year award. It's really the most prestigious award a Chevrolet dealership can receive from Chevrolet. There's 2,903 dealers in the country. Only 60 of them were named Dealer of the Year. And it's a really big deal. Winners receive a trophy and a banner that can be displayed in the dealership. As we saw down at City Chevrolet, they closed the store for the afternoon. All 185 some employees came in. Mr. Hendrick was there. Members of Chevrolet were there. They said it was a big deal for them this time because they haven't been able to celebrate because of COVID before. So this is really the first time they've been able to do this huge gathering with everybody, you know, kind of an all hands on deck kind of thing. And again, for Mr. Hendrick to come, and he takes a ton of photos, shakes everybody's hands. This was his very first dealership that he bought back in 1978. And it became the springboard for the Hendrick Automotive Group, which is now over 100 dealerships. I think they're one of the top 5 dealer groups in the country. congratulations to them. This was their 7th consecutive year to be named Dealer of the Year, and it was the 13th time overall. They're real proud of it. We are glad to feature them. They've been good friends of ours. Of course, Rick Cruzo is there. He handles the Corvette sales. Good guy to know. So if you're looking for a Corvette, you're in the Charlotte area, give Rick a call.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations to them. Keith, thank you for being back on the show, and Merry Christmas, buddy.
Well, Merry Christmas. Have a Happy New Year, Steve. I always look forward to these dates. They're so much fun for us. Thank you again for everybody that comes up to us when we see them. You know, you listen to you on the Corvette Today podcast. We wouldn't be here without you, and appreciate it. So have a great year in 2024.
This is our last show for 2023. Coming up in week number 2 for 2024, we'll have our first Corvette Today news and headline show of the year. Thanks to everybody. Merry Christmas, everyone. We'll see you in 2024. Thanks again for listening and watching Corvette Today. And be sure to tell your family, friends, and other Corvette enthusiasts about the Corvette Today show. And thanks to our sponsors, Wheelcraft. Want to dress up your Corvette with bright chrome or black chrome wheels? Visit wheelcraft.com to learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or offer a wheel exchange for most models, and it comes with a 5-year warranty. Visit wheelcraft.com today or call 833-840-5334. Soul Performance Products at soulpp.com, the official exhaust of Corvette Today. True Wealth & Company at retirewithtrue.com. Also, Aerolarri Wheels, get $100 off your purchase with the new promo code CT111 at aerolarri.com. And Hendrick Chevrolet in Kansas City at ChevyUSA.com.
Thanks for checking out Corvette Today on podcast and YouTube. If you'd like to contact Steve with ideas for Corvette Today, you can email him at stevegarrettdj@gmail.com. Garrett has 2 R's and 2 T's. That's stevegarrettdj@gmail.com. Also, sign up for email notifications at corvettetoday.ck.page. Follow Steve and the show on social media on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Threads at Steve Garrett DJ. Thanks again for listening and watching Corvette Today.